Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Hello to all SBR students. Students, as you know that SBR exam flight is ready to depart on tomorrow. Inshallah, may Allah willing, tomorrow will be yours day. And you will win the game. I am Hussain Qazi, facilitator for the subject SBR, AFM and FM. The purpose of this voice clip is actually about the SBR exam day tips. Before starting in detail, students, three things very important. Number one, the highest motivation factor for all of you people is that SBR passing rate is around 50%. Historical SBR passing rate around 50%. That 50% chance that you will pass the exam. This is the highest motivation factor. Number two, SBR exam is about 50% already structured, pre-structured. All of you people know before the exam day that section A, 50%, it's pre-structured. That you will face 30 marks question about group accounts with pre-populated sheet, plus 20 marks question of section A, it's about SBR with ethics. Although rest of the section B, 25 marks 2 questions, it's totally unstructured. Nobody knows what will come. But for A, section A, you know that what will be the structure. So this is also a motivation factor. And the students, number three, very important. Whenever you play any game, whenever you are part of the war, the golden rule is that आपने घबराना नहीं है और रुकना भी नहीं है, which means don't be afraid and keep moving. That's the rule of the exam if you wanted to win the war. So let's start the exam day tips, which means do's and don'ts. And I can say that how to shape your SBR December 23 exams. All of us know that hard working is a good thing, and you have done the efforts whatever during the preparation phase. But now it's time to execute. It's time to work smartly. So some points you need to cover. 8 points I will cover with this voice note as a support for the exam. The first very important point, during the exam आपने घबराना नहीं है और रुकना भी नहीं है, which means don't be afraid and keep moving. That's the first point. That's the first rule of the game. Number two, relax. Don't take stress. Before entering the exam and during the exam, don't take stress. Because you have to develop your mindset that SBR exam, it's not about the accuracy. Examiner never expect that a student must attempt 100% accurate exam. Instead, you have to attempt 100% appropriate exam. 100% appropriate exam. It's not about 100% accuracy. It's about 100% appropriate. So don't you take any stress. The exam is about to apply your knowledge. Apply your knowledge with the cases with appropriateness. So you must attempt your answers without any fear. So fearless work. So that's about rule number 2, relax and don't take stress. Rule number 3, point number 3, never forget the rule of 20-80. 20-80. Never forget the rule. Whenever you are starting any question, any part of the question, 20% of the time you need to invest for planning, which includes very precisely read the question and understand the examiner expectation. Reading of the question, reading of the requirement is an art. And reading with understanding, it's a key principle whenever you will enter with the wartime, means remaining 80%. So never avoid this plan, that 20-80. The rule is 20-80. 20% time you have to invest for planning, including reading and understanding the examiner expectation. And remaining 80% is about execution time, actual game time, actual war time. Students, whenever you are the part of this 80%, means whenever you are the part of the war, execution of the answer, examiner wordings, inverted commas, high marks formula is equal to well-structured answer plus conservative word count plus relevant answer. This is examiner or marker wordings. High marks formula is equal to your answer must be well-structured, well-presentable, plus conservative word count, which means draft your answer with the allocated marks. You have to write your answer with the allocated marks. 5 marks question, you have to write according to the 5 marks. Control your emotions. If you know that for 5 marks, you know very, very well about this answer, but you have to answer only for 5 marks. If you write the answer more than 5 marks, actually you will lose other part of the paper, and you examiner will maximum provide you the 5 marks here. So this is not the smart work. So well-structured answer, conservative word count, and if you already read and understand properly with the 20% time, so your answer automatically become relevant, means answer according to the examiner requirement. Important is not that what you will write. Important is that whatever you write according to the examiner expectation, examiner requirement, that is called relevant. Once again, high marks formula, well-structured answer, conservative word count, and relevant. So that's about rule number 3, 20-80. That's a point. Rule number 4. SBR exam with new exam structure. Mark my word, with the new exam structure, that's become the positive edge to you. Positive edge for you. That's positive edge means now you have more chances to qualify or pass your exam. So work smartly. Work smartly here. Approx 15 to 20% is about numbers after the new exam structure. And 80 to 85% is about drafting. Once again, after new exam structure, you will face 15 to 20% numbers game, 80 to 85% about drafting game. So this is about 4. Develop your mind. Now with point number 5, you will face 15 to 20% about numbers. Rule number 5 is about major calculation or the major number games you will face with question number 1 with the name pre-populated consolidated accounts and unit consolidated accounts which you need to adjust. So first of all, you must be very much conservative or must be committed about the time management. For example, with the pre-populated working, examiner allocate 14 marks. So 14 marks multiplied by 1.8 minutes for each mark is equal to 25 minutes. So must be committed to complete your pre-populated worksheet with that 25 minutes. Put your best effort to do that, because examiner complain here, student unnecessarily invest time more than the allocated time. Here the case 25 minutes. Don't do that. Number 2, for rule number 5, calculation for question number 1. Another point, you have to present your working with the pre-populated sheet. Present your working in a way that marker easily track your workings. Whatever the consolidated accounts available, below the consolidated accounts, you have to show your workings and and based on this working, you have to make columns for the adjustment. Column number 1, column number 2, column number 3, column number 4. Adjustment 1, adjustment 2, 3, 4 must have to make a proper label of the columns. So marker easily track your workings. So not just throw your working, but always present your working in a manner that examiner or marker easily track your working. Students, very important point for question number 1 calculation. The question, it's either about to adjust consolidated statement of financial position or consolidated income statement or consolidated cash flow. So examiner wordings about the last column means corrected accounts. Examiner wordings, corrected accounts, no marks. No presentation marks are awarded for showing revised totals. No presentation marks are awarded for showing revised totals. So no need to make the final column of adjusted balance sheet or adjusted cash flows or adjusted income statement. No marks. It's mentioned with the examiner report. So don't waste time here. Work smartly, not just hard work. Work smartly. Save your time. Save your time with the question number 1 and invest with the other part of the question, because you have to attend 100% appropriate exam. For rule number 5, that's calculation for question 1. Last point, don't waste too much time for the accuracy of numbers, because examiner allowed the golden rule called OFR, own figure rule. Sir, what is this own figure rule? For example, one of the question having 4 adjustment 1, 2, 3, 4. If any of the student have correctly attempted working 1 and all 4 workings are interrelated, assume you have done correctly the working number 1, and when you move towards working number 2, you have done wrong working. Your answer is wrong. examiner will assume your step 2 working, and with that assumption examiner will check, or marker will check step 3 or working 3 and working 4. If your working 3 and 4 structure is right, so you will be able to get all the marks of step 3 and 4 and 1 as well. Only examiner cut your marks for working number 2, whatever you have done wrong. That is called golden rule of OFR, own figure rule. Students, आपने घबराना नहीं है और रुकना नहीं है. Which means don't be afraid, don't stop, keep moving. Point number 6, drafting. Either with the question number 1 or any part of the SBR. That's 80 to 85% is about drafting. The drafting rule number 1 is assemble your answer. That's called knowledge plus application. Only putting the knowledge, you will not be able to pass your exam. You will get limited marks. Plus application means connect with the case. For drafting, examiner wording, don't use incomplete sentences when making a point. Examiner wording, inverted commas. Marks are awarded for complete points made in full sentences. Examiner guidance for drafting, point number 6. Last point for drafting. Avoid bullet points. But to structure your answer, you need to make small paragraphs and headings where appropriate. So for drafting, number 1, assemble your answer, knowledge and application. Don't use or avoid incomplete sentence, avoid bullet points. Students, point number 7, second last point. One sample question, including examiner report, is available with this voice note description. Means you can find out with the description part of the YouTube video. So get the PDF link and read the sample question where I have incorporated all above rules. And don't ignore the examiner report, because I've also attached with the sample question the examiner report as well. Examiner report with the highlighted 10 to 12 points. You have to read it. That will definitely support your exam day. Point number 8. Once again, SBR new exam structure for question 1 is a positive edge to you people to pass your exam. I strongly suggest you have to make a quick review before the exam. 3 questions. I will appreciate before the exam if you have to attempt with the exam conditions these 3 questions ideally. Number 1, sample exam 1, auto company, topic consolidated. It's just the consolidated statement of financial position. Number 2, Hussain Qazi mock Houston consolidated statement of comprehensive income. Houston is a question name. Specimen 2, ACCA Hill Company consolidated cash flow statements. Adjustments. These 3 questions you have to attempt. Ideally, if you are not able to attempt, it just make a go through. These are the 8 points. My last statements. आपने घबराना नहीं है और रुकना नहीं है. Don't be afraid and keep moving. Don't stop. Students, the Quran says, never lose hope nor be sad. Strong belief, because these quotes by Allah, that God. Allah, God, never leave us alone. Thank you very much from my side. Wish you best of luck. आपने घबराना नहीं है. Don't be afraid. Assalamu alaikum.